All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS that rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. I forget what video I was watching. I think maybe Apostle Ryan Live, but one of the brothers, apostles, or elders, through the spirit, the inspiration comes from. I'm in my car. I'm setting my phone down, so you see the rooftops. So lucky for that. Just contemplate, man. Oh yeah, the Apostle Ryan Live's video, where it says the title, I think, that John the Baptist, something like that, fall out the truth. So it's a few scriptures that caught my attention through the spirit, which led me to this lesson, Lord willing, edifying one, Lord willing, man. Actually, I'm just gonna get straight into it. I don't even have to elaborate on it. Let's start with Ezekiel chapter 37. You know, it's a blessing for us to be called out of these spiritual graves that we've been in for years and decades, man. You know, we Israelites, and at one time, by us rebelling against Yahweh Bashem Abishai, he took away our heritage. And now, by the grace and mercies of Yahweh Bashem Abishai, he's given us back the knowledge we once had, because it was already in us. He just tapped into our spirit, and now we stand upon our feet. So we was in a spiritual grave, in a sense, if you will, because we didn't know who we were spiritually. We was everything but, as the word said, a child of God, not knowing our nationality, man. So I want to make this real quick, because chapter 37 is pretty long. I just want to go, man. Okay. When I need to find a good place to start. Yeah, start at 5. What's about can these bones live? Ezekiel 37 and starting at 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? Well, I started Ezekiel 37 and 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Now, America is a low valley, and it's a very low valley, very low in morals and standards. Bones represent Israel, because we're in a dry place where we didn't know who we were. So he asked in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And that's what's happened, man, beginning with the elders of the apostles and elders, and now the apostles and elders and the men on down, out in this valley in America, in this low land, because we was dry. We didn't know who we were. We didn't know where we come from. We didn't know why we was in this condition. We didn't know the true names of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. We forgot that we was Israelites. So for men that's in this truth, who's been spiritually awakened, basically by getting this word has brought you back to life, spiritual living, because you know who you are now. You know where you come from. You know who the enemies are. You know these things now, you see? So these bones, the breath, which is what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, enter into these men, into these bones, and they lived. So now we living, man. We came from a very dead spiritual state to now we know who we are, we know what's going on, we know how things work. We see it, we have a vision, and we see the future from Yahweh Bashem Abishai spiritually, man. Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with the skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because Yahweh Bashem Abishai, through their mercies and grace, caused this to take place, man. To bring us out of those dead states that we was in, to now being living beings spiritually. You see? So I prophesied, and that flesh is basically your identity, knowing that you're an Israelite. That's your identity, that's your flesh. We already got flesh on our body. So it's spiritual, you see? It's spiritual, man. So I prophesied as I commanded, and I prophesied there was a noise, and behold, a shaking in the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy the Son of Man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. But we were slain, man. We've been through all different captivities throughout the existence. And now the prophecy is that the Israelites was going to wake up in the place where they served captivity. Now you have Israelites spread it all over the world, but we're still under the captivity of this devil because he's ruling everything. He's in rulership right now. So in Revelations 11 and 13 says this. I'm having to cut it short. Damn. I don't know if I got a client just came. Salakia, Revelation 11 to 13. And that same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant was of where's that? I'm in the wrong one. That's a good one too. What is 11? Let's see some Salakia. Dead bodies shall lie. Well, Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies. No, I'm looking for the one where it says, and they stood upon their feet. Yeah. Salaki, Revelation, I think it's 11:11. After 3 days and a half, the spirit of life for the Most High entered into them, and by us waking up and these dry bones waking up, you see that the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Bashar has entered into these men out there that's teaching, man, especially in Great Millstone, who have that true breath, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Bashar. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So now the heathen nations and the top elite banking families fear the fact that these dry bones now standing upon their feet, living, and they're prophesying. There's these dry bones seeing things now that they're awakened, and they out here prophesying upon their feet to chant down Babylon, which is America. So now the people that saw them, they were afraid, was the top elite banking families, okay, and these heathen nations in 2/3 as well, man. You see? And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. That's talking about the elite banking families. Why? Because of this. Real quick, I'm gonna end it off for this one, man. Ezekiel 9 and 4, right here. So they prophesying, and people are afraid. The top elite banking families are afraid. Ezekiel 9 and 4. The Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sighed and that cried for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So these dry bones, now they live, standing upon their feet. The people are fearing, the top elite banking families are fearing, because they know their kingdom is going down because of all the abominations that has been taking place since the beginning of time. And that mark is set to separate you from judgment, because the Most High, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Bashar, is about to come and judge this place. and rightfully so. So this mark here, meaning to exempt from judgment once you wake up to who you are and understand that you're a Hebrew Israelite, man. You see? That's how we know who we are through the Spirit now, because we've been awakened. We are alive now. We seeing things where the conversation from the people irks us because we don't belong here. This place is filthy and it's wicked. Now these bones are standing up speaking, and now people are afraid. Well, the end is coming. The end is near. The end of this kingdom is it's about to come to a head because of all the wickedness that's going on, man. You see? So this is a quick lesson I want to get into, man. These dry bones standing up, prophesying against many great countries and kingdoms, okay, for all the wicked and abominations that's going through the midst of the city, man. And Jerusalem is the people before it's a place. So we're going through the midst of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to speak this word in the ears of his people. For those who are going to get it, the elect, and we speaking against the elite and chanting down this place. With that, I hope